happened in Pakistan first on WION, the former President of Pakistan Pervez Musharraf spoke to us. This is in pills what President Pervez Musharraf told to WION previously. We were able to reach him on the phone to try to understand better the views regarding what is happening in Pakistan and what will eventually happen to Pakistan after the Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif had to resign because the Supreme Court asked him to.
पाकिस्तानियों के लिए आज का दिन बहुत अहम तारीखी दिन रहा है। आज के दिन सुप्रीम कोर्ट बेंच ने 5 मेंबर बेंच ने नवाज शरीफ को नाअहल करार दिया है। इसके लिए मैं उस सुप्रीम कोर्ट की बेंच स्पेशली उसको बहुत दिली मुबारकबाद देता हूँ कि उन्होंने बहुत दलेराना एक फैसला दिया है जो ऐन हक और इंसाफ के मुताबिक है। और जनरली मैं तमाम सुप्रीम कोर्ट को भी मुबारकबाद देना चाहूँगा और ख़ास तौर पे मैं JIT के मेंबर्स 4 मेंबर जिन्होंने इतनी बहादुरी दिखाकर तमाम थ्रेट्स के बावजूद उन्होंने इतनी अच्छी इन्वेस्टिगेशन रिपोर्ट सुप्रीम कोर्ट बेंच को आगे दी है। ये फैसला इसके मैं पूरी तरीके से मैं इसके सपोर्ट में हूँ। बहुत अच्छा फैसला है कि नवाज शरीफ को इन्होंने नाअहल करार दिया है और इसके अलावा जो 6 लोग हैं यानी इनके तीनों बच्चे नवाज शरीफ के, नवाज शरीफ खुद, इनके सन इन लॉ कैप्टन सफदर और इसाक डार जो समधी शहरैन के, इनके जो नैब को जो ऑर्डर दिया गया है कि रेफरेंस दायर किया जाए, ये बिल्कुल ये बहुत सही फैसला है। अब इनकी ट्रायल शुरू होनी चाहिए और इनको कानून के मुताबिक इनके अगेंस्ट फैसले होने चाहिए, इनको सज़ा मिलनी चाहिए। अब इसमें मैं ये और ऐड करना चाहता हूँ कि एक तो जाहिर है क्योंकि इनकी ट्रायल और इन्वेस्टिगेशन शुरू होगी तो मैं समझता हूँ इनको बाहर नहीं जाने देना चाहिए, एक ECL पे रहना चाहिए इन्हें। दूसरी चीज़ मैं अपने बारे में सोचता हूँ तो मैं ये जब ये 2008 में मैंने रिज़ाइन किया और ये पीपल्स पार्टी वाले आए, आसिफ जरदारी आए, उसके बाद 2013 में नवाज शरीफ आए, तो मैं हमेशा मैं अल्लाह ताला से गिला मेरा ज़रूर था कि ये कैसे ये झूठ की फतेह क्यों हो रही है, झूठ और फरेब की फतेह कैसे और सच्चाई की शिकस्त हो रही है। तो लेकिन आज पता हुआ, वो कहते हैं ना अल्लाह ताला की लाठी बेआवाज़ है, वो आज पता हो गया कि नहीं, झूठ और फरेब की फतेह कभी नहीं होती है। और ये इंशाअल्लाह ताला इनके अलावा और लोग जो ये झूठ और फरेब और मुल्क को जिन्होंने लूटा है, मुल्क को जो खंगाल किया है, उन सब को कानून के शिकंजे में आना चाहिए। आज ये बहुत अच्छा फैसला है। मैं सब पूरी कौम को भी मुबारकबाद देता हूँ क्योंकि पूरी कौम, मेरे ख्याल में तमाम पाकिस्तानी कौम मुंतज़िर थे इस फैसले की और वो इसके सपोर्ट में थे कि ये इनको नाअहल करार दिया जाए। तो मैं आखिर में मैं इस तमाम कौम को मुबारकबाद, दोबारा सुप्रीम कोर्ट को मुबारकबाद, JIT को मुबारकबाद और माई सैल्यूट्स टू देम फॉर देयर करेज एंड ऑनेस्टी। बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया। अल्लाह ताला आप सबका हामी और नासिर। खुदा हाफिज़। पाकिस्तान पाइंदाबाद।
This was the conversation WION had exclusively with the 10th President of Pakistan, Mr. Pervez Musharraf. And I am joined live once again by my colleague, international correspondent Ramesh Ramachandran. Ramesh, thanks again for joining me. I'm troubling you and your expertise today for the benefit of our viewers. So here we go. Am I the only one thinking that perhaps Pervez Musharraf could think about coming back a little bit earlier to Pakistan?
Well, Daniele, both Nawaz Sharif and Pervez Musharraf are wily politicians and individuals in their own right. So never say never. Both could return to Pakistani politics in one way or another. But that said, just as an aside, Daniele, both Musharraf and Sharif go back a long way. Remember, they've had episodes in the last nearly 2 decades, most recently in 1999, when Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif was ousted in a military coup by none other than Pervez Musharraf. That was their first tryst with destiny, if I can put it that way. Then in 2007, when Musharraf was still the president, we saw him allow Sharif to return to Pakistan from exile in Saudi Arabia. That was in 2007. And we saw Musharraf go out of power, but Nawaz Sharif coming back to power in 2013. And today we see Nawaz Sharif being ousted once again from power, disqualified by the Supreme Court of Pakistan at a time when Musharraf, who is now in exile in the Gulf, in Dubai, wants to return to Pakistan to play a role in the Pakistani polity. Can he? Will he do it? We don't know for a fact yet, but he has shown his intent to play a role one way or another in Pakistani politics. So clearly, these are interesting days for Pakistan, Daniele.
And Ramesh, isn't it kind of controversial to listen to a man who, in his first very place, was not very fond of civilian institutions, praising the Supreme Court for what they did?
Indeed, Daniele, I mean, it's always interesting to study the delicate balance of power between the civilian establishment or government in Pakistan vis-a-vis the Pakistani military or the army. They've had a history of interventions in the past, and as I said before, on many occasions, nearly 50% of Pakistani history is replete with incidences of military intervening in Pakistani politics. So one can never be sure if it will not be repeated going forward. But at the moment, as things stand, the balance of power at the moment seems to be lying still very much in favor of the civilian government, which was democratically elected, as I said, in 2013. So it remains to be seen where the civilian leg of the government or the wing of the government goes from here onwards. Remember, 2018, that is next year, the elections are due. And between now and then, you can expect many more political developments to happen. And it remains to be seen who will fill the gap or the vacuum left by the ouster or the disqualification of Nawaz Sharif. Will it be the Pakistani People's Party, the PPP? Will it be the the Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf, PTI of Imran Khan, or will it be the army or a proxy of the army in some form or another? So clearly, it's a wait and watch insofar as Pakistan is concerned.
Indeed, indeed it will be. We are talking about an arena where the heavyweights of, I would say, Pakistani, but for that matter, South Asian politics will compete one against the other. So I'm asking you to travel a little bit far and speculate. Do you think that the region, South Asia, could possibly welcome an eventual return of General Musharraf? Well,
General Musharraf, by his temperament, he is a commando. He's known to, strike, be unpredictable, if I can put it that way. So one can never put anything past him. So he's well within his rights or capability to, come back into prominence. But that said, is it practical? I don't know for a fact yet. But he has shown his intent, nevertheless, in interviews to WION, and as we heard him just moments ago, saying that he wants to play a role in Pakistani politics, and he wants the government of the day to not allow the Sharifs, Nawaz Sharif and his immediate family, to leave Pakistan. So clearly, he has the Sharifs in his crosshairs, and as I said, they go back a long way, and there's an element of animosity or personal animosity there. But that said, politics is the art of the possible. So if Musharraf wants to return to power in one way or another, with or without the help of the army of the day or even Imran Khan, we don't know how, in what form or what shape it will happen. But he, for himself, for his part, has shown his intent to want to play a role in the polity, and one can only wait and watch for his next move.
And whatever will happen, there is one certain thing. The thing that before Pakistan will go to election, we will need to wait a certain amount of time. It means that for this period, Pakistan will be best case scenario country which is not moving forward. How does that impact the security of an entire region in which Pakistan is a prominent player?
It's an interesting question, Daniele. For a fact, no country in the world, be it India or any other country, would want to see an unstable or destabilized Pakistan.
Ramesh, I have a very important information. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but we know that Shehbaz Sharif will be the next Prime Minister of Pakistan. The decision was taken during a high-level PMLN meeting, Geo News reported. Shehbaz Sharif is currently serving as the Chief Minister of Punjab. Nawaz Sharif met with senior party leaders after being disqualified by the Supreme Court, which announced the verdict in the Panama Papers case. A name has not been announced for the interim Prime Minister who will fill the 45-day vacuum until Shehbaz Sharif gets elected to the National Assembly seat. According to reports, either Hamas Shehbaz Sharif or Rana Sanaullah will replace Shehbaz Sharif as the Punjab Chief Minister. So Ramesh, I understand you're still with me. There we go. We have a name. What do we know about this name, Ramesh?
Indeed, we've been speculating here on WION, Daniele, for a long time now as to the probable contenders to succeed Nawaz Sharif in the event of an adverse verdict. And now that we have an adverse verdict and Sharif stands disqualified, it comes as no surprise that Shehbaz Sharif has been nominated to succeed his elder brother Nawaz Sharif, who stands disqualified after the Supreme Court verdict in Panama Gate. But that said, he comes with a certain baggage, a pedigree, if I can put it that way. It's a South Asian phenomenon. If you look at all the countries in the region, including India, dynasties have come to hold sway over politics in Pakistan, in India, and other countries in South Asia. So what is happening, what we're seeing happen in Pakistan is not unusual, to put it mildly. But that said, it remains to be seen how Shehbaz Sharif can steer the ship of the PMLN party going forward, especially given the fact that elections are due next year. So as things stand now, Daniele, Shehbaz Sharif is set to succeed his elder brother Nawaz as the Prime Minister of Pakistan. But that said, Nawaz Sharif, as I said, stands disqualified for life, and it remains to be seen how he can play a role staying in the background, as it were, or be the power behind the throne, as it were, and steer the affairs of his party with his brother in the hot seat.
You stole words out of my mouth. I was going to ask you exactly these. They are brothers, so I imagine that Nawaz Sharif will have a certain influence, at least a certain say in all matters of politics. What do you think about this, Ramesh?
Daniele, one thing's for sure, Nawaz Sharif may be down, but he's not out. He may have been disqualified for life. He may not be able to hold the post or an office bearer's post in any party, let alone his own PMLN party. But the fact remains that he is a force to reckon with in Pakistani politics for a long time now, and he might remain so for the foreseeable future. But what we're seeing now unfold before our eyes is the generational shift, as it were, within the Sharif family, and one cannot discount the possibility of either his daughter or any of his sons playing a more prominent role in the affairs of the party. Remember, both Maryam Sharif and her brothers Hussein and Hassan are probable contenders to carry forward the Sharif legacy. Just as Bilawal Bhutto, who we heard address a media conference just a short while ago, will carry the mantle forward of the Bhutto legacy in the Pakistan People's Party. So clearly, it is the generational change happening in Pakistani politics with Maryam Sharif and her brothers on the one hand and Bilawal on the other. But that said, one cannot at the same time discount the possibility or the probability of Imran Khan emerging as another pole, as it were. Remember, his party, the Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf PTI, is a force to reckon with, at least in one province of Pakistan, and he might play a role come the next election.
We are still waiting anyway one name, which is the interim Prime Minister, who will be the person who will hold this office for 45 days. I understand 45 days is the minimum amount of time needed in order for the younger brother of Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif to become the Prime Minister. Any idea, any insight you have about the possible name, Ramesh?
Daniele, to my mind, as per my understanding of the Pakistani law is concerned, as per the constitutional procedures in Pakistan, the Speaker of the Parliament is the next in line to succeed the Prime Minister, and for all practical purposes, the Speaker, the current Speaker of the Pakistani Parliament, Ayaz Sadiq, is expected to be the interim Prime Minister unless they decide otherwise or nominate someone else. So for all practical purposes, to my mind, the Speaker will be the natural or the interim successor or the head of the government. Remember, not only has Nawaz Sharif resigned, but his cabinet also automatically stands dissolved. So as per the protocol, I think, to my mind, the Speaker will be the next in line and will be the interim Prime Minister for the foreseeable or the immediate future.
And Mr. Shehbaz Sharif, who will take office as the new Pakistani Prime Minister, I'm reminding for the benefit of our viewers, he is also the younger brother of now former Prime Minister of Pakistan, Nawaz Sharif, will hold office for 1 year. So when it comes to this situation, Ramesh, will he have all the effective powers of the Prime Minister?
Well, Daniel, just before I address that question, just to put things into context for the benefit of the WION viewer, to draw an analogy here, as they say in India, the road to power in New Delhi passes through Lucknow, the capital of Uttar Pradesh, which has the largest number of seats in Parliament. So clearly from that perspective, and to borrow that analogy and talk about Pakistan, now Pakistan is heavily dominated in power and in the military by the Punjabi population who hail from the province of Punjab. The army is heavily Punjabi dominated, and so is the PMLN party, which has its core constituency in the province of Punjab. So therefore, to that extent, PMLN can be expected to have a say in the affairs of Pakistani politics for some more time to come. But that said, it's anybody's guess as to who might eventually succeed come the election next year, who it might be and in what form of combination, we don't know yet. But the fact is that all three parties, the PMLN, the PPP and the PTI of Imran Khan, stand an equal chance of coming back to power. But that said, one can never say never in Pakistan, especially when the army is always there in the background.